There is a particular kind of exhaustion that comes not just from doing too much, but this added layer of doing so much and wondering if any of it's actually landing, if it's actually working, if we're getting anywhere. I think this is something that not enough of us talk about out loud. We often wonder that we've done so much, we've planted so many roots, we've built so many habits, and what happens if we fall off course a bit, if we lose our momentum? Is all of our effort wasted? Is it lost? Was it for nothing? You see, most of us carry a version of this fear that our efforts aren't adding up to anything, that we're building on sand, or that we might be fooling ourselves, setting ourselves up for disappointment. That when we stray from our practices and our disciplines, when we lose our way, that it was all for nothing. Welcome to your Monday message. I am Dharma Shakti, your host with your weekly dose of something inspirational. We're going to get to the inspirational part here in a minute. You see, we live in a culture of instant results, and we tend to expect transformation on a timeline, one that is particularly linear. Spiritual growth doesn't work that way, and when we don't see our evidence of progress or proof, doubt starts to creep in. This week's Monday message is an excerpt from the Bhagavad Gita, which speaks directly to this very particular doubt that we all have. Krishna's words to Arjuna are the same words that the universe is speaking to you right now through me in this video. Your efforts are not lost. You are not lost. And this is a message that is always being relayed to us if we could just get past the doubtful mind. Here is the Sanskrit verse. It comes from chapter 6, verse 40. Na hi kalyāṇa-kṛt kashid durgatim tata gajati. One who does good is never truly lost. This is a very sort of simplified translation, but word for word, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction, right? Either in this world or in the spiritual world. And one who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. I just love that Krishna calls Arjuna his friend in this verse. You see, here in this part of the Gita, Arjuna asks Krishna a question that lives inside all of us. What if I try to walk the spiritual path, but I don't make it all the way? What if I fall short? What if I mess up? What if I fail? What becomes of me then? And Krishna's answer is one of the most compassionate moments in the entire Gita. He doesn't give a list of requirements. He doesn't say you should try harder. He says, goodness accumulates. Sincere effort is never erased. This particular verse comes from chapter 6, which is devoted to the yoga of meditation and self-discipline, the inner work that isn't always visible from the outside. So it's hard to gauge if and when it's working. So what this teaching is really pointing to is that this verse is not just about spiritual insurance, doing good and making sure that you have good credit in the bank. It's a radical reframing of how we understand progress. You see, Krishna is telling Arjuna and telling you and me that sincere effort towards goodness and growth is cosmically held. It doesn't evaporate, it doesn't get canceled, it becomes part of your foundation. Like when you go to the gym and you stay with it for a year or more, and then that thing happens. You lose a job, you finish school, you get divorced, you go through a breakup, and you stop. And when you get back to the gym finally, you literally have to start all over and rebuild that muscle again. Spiritual life just isn't like that. Your spiritual growth doesn't regress. It stays. Let's unpack some of the Sanskrit in this verse. Kalyāṇa-kṛt. It means one who does what is auspicious or beneficial, right? Someone acting from sincerity, care, and genuine intention. Not someone who is perfect, but someone who keeps choosing goodness, even in our missteps, even in our mistakes, even in our setbacks. Durgatim, a bad destination or a downward path, meaning being truly lost, regressing spiritually, or having your efforts amount to nothing. Nahi kashit. Never, not at all, not anyone. This is an absolute statement that Krishna is offering, an emphatic no. Krishna is not saying probably or usually. He is saying it is not possible for sincere effort to be wasted. You don't have to be perfect to be protected by your progress of your practice. You just have to keep choosing what is good, what is true, what is aligned, even when you can't see the results yet. So how does this show up in our real life, in our everyday, modern day lives? This could look like the student who meditates for months and thinks nothing is changing, and then one day they handle a crisis with unexpected calm, or the people around them start to say, there's something different about you. Or the teacher who shows up and teaches from the heart, even to small rooms or empty rooms, but is building something that they can't see yet, like myself. I've experienced this firsthand. Or the wellness practitioner who has done so much inner work, but still feels not ready, not realizing that readiness is already living inside of them. Could look like the person who left a harmful relationship, a toxic job, or an old identity and wonders if starting over erased everything that they built or that they worked so hard towards. I think this is one that we can all relate to. So let's talk about 5 takeaways we can get here. 1, sincere effort is spiritually cumulative. Your sadhana, your prayers, your journaling, your therapy, your 5 a.m. practices, they don't disappear when you can't feel them or when you've strayed a little. They are woven into who you are becoming. You see, growth is not always visible, but invisible doesn't mean absent. Number 2, goodness has a gravitational pull. When you consistently move towards truth or love or healing and integrity, even if it's imperfectly, you are always moving towards something. You are always progressing, and the universe bends toward kalyāṇa, auspiciousness. You cannot be lost when goodness is your compass. Number 3, the spiritual path does not require your perfection. It requires sincerity. Notice that Krishna doesn't say one who achieves enlightenment is never lost. He says one who does good, the doing, the sincere, the repeated choosing is the practice. You don't have to have arrived. You just have to keep turning toward the light, towards the good. Number 4, disruption is not destruction. You know, when you have those seasons of doubt or retreat or rest or apparent stagnation, these are not evidence that you've fallen off the path. Sometimes the path moves underground, like roots in the winter. The Gita reassures us that even if this life doesn't complete our spiritual journey, what we've cultivated carries forward. Your effort, your goodness, and the effort in that goodness has permanence in the cosmic files of things. Number 5, trust is not passive. It is an active spiritual practice. And Krishna isn't saying, sit back and relax and everything will be fine. He's saying, keep doing good, keep practicing, keep choosing aligned action. Look, I, of course, always have these reflective questions here in these videos for you, because that self-reflection is a very important part of the yogic process, this internal self-awareness and this self-reflection. And so to just consume what I'm saying is not enough. We want to really reflect, how is this applying to us right now? So here are some prompts. Where in my life have I been discounting my own effort because I haven't seen the results that I expected? And what evidence of growth have I been ignoring? Or what does doing good, kalyāṇa-kṛt, look like in my life right now? Am I acting from sincerity, or am I waiting to feel more certain before I begin? Is there an area of my life where I've given up a practice, a dream, a healing that I might want to gently return to? What would shift in my life if I truly believed, not hoped, but believed that my sincere efforts are never wasted? Where am I confusing patience with passivity, and where am I confusing rest with giving up? I think these are important questions to ask ourselves, and I hope that you do take some time to really reflect on these things, especially when we feel like we've chosen a route in our path that feels like it was all for nothing. I really want you to reflect there. So there are some practices that you can do during the week that will help you kind of embody this wisdom. It's one thing to intellectually understand it. It's another thing to practice it in a way where you're actually embodying the wisdom. It's showing up in your life as you and through you. So here's something that you can do this week. You know, when you're feeling doubtful, what's the point of all of this? Is it even working? Or, oh my God, I worked so hard and now I gotta change directions and that was just a waste of time. When any of that comes up, when doubt is arising this week for you, Place a hand on your heart and just silently repeat to yourself, I am one who does good. I am one who does good. My efforts are held and I am not lost. Look, you don't even have to believe it fully yet, but the practice is the planting of this belief seed. So just give it a try, okay? See if you can start to plant that seed of reminding yourself, my efforts don't go unnoticed. There is a record that is kept of all my good. Even though I may make many mistakes, my good is not overlooked. So look, most likely, especially if you're anything like me, even a tiny bit, you've been doing more than you give yourself credit for. The seeds that you've planted in your practice, in your relationships, in your inner world, they are not lost. Even if things look like nothing is working in your life, I promise you, they are not lost. They are growing in the dark, the way all deep things do. You don't need to have arrived already to really arrive as your full, most enlightened, authentic self. You don't need to have it figured out. You just need to keep choosing what is true, what is kind, and what is aligned with your higher self. That is the whole path, and that is enough. That has always been enough. All divinity wants is your sincerity. Na hi kalyāṇa-kṛt kashid durgatim tata gajati. One who does good is never truly lost. Trust the path, trust your efforts, trust yourself, and trust that you have a friend in divinity who sees your good and never forgets it. All right, if you liked this video, I would love it if you hit the like button. If you have thoughts, feelings, questions, or things that you would like to share about this video, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And maybe there's somebody you know who could really benefit from this message today. Hit that share button and send it their way. Otherwise, I hope that you have an amazing week. You don't forget to keep turning towards good, no matter how far away from your path you get. Keep turning back towards what's good. Trust that you know what's good. Trust that your inner compass has a setting that tells you what is good, and you can always turn towards that. Sending you so much strength and love and courage to keep being an agent for good in your life and in the lives of others. And until I see you next time, have an amazing week, and sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.